live from New York. It's the show that is currently watching Wemby highlights instead of researching the show.
Who's doing that? You or him? I'm locked in. Why are you staring at me?
He's trying to steal Wemby from me.
I'm watching Dusty.
He's trying.
Second hour, first things first. I promise it's going to be excellent. No, I was looking through. It's Wednesday, July 3rd, and it's time for a special edition of the greatest segment in all of sports, NBA Tiers. But before we start, I need to apologize. Earlier this week, we ran an unsanctioned, committee-less, non-introed version of Tiers, which featured naming conventions such as Tier 1 and Tier 4. Well, maybe it worked, you might say. Well, maybe. Here's the most liked comment on YouTube. It's like Brew was given a homework assignment and forgot about it until 10 minutes before the show. So, that being said, I apologize. It won't happen again. And now, without further ado,
I was purposely trying to make it bland.
Brew, don't do that for the TV show.
What if I came out with a great Tiers?
I would be happy for you.
Me too.
Here's the thing.
If my Tiers was phenomenal,
it still wouldn't have the
you'd
committee.
be like looking at.
I'd be okay.
I would have been okay with
needs
it.
to do
But you decided. This is why this stuff needs to, like, hey, I'm gonna crush a mediocre segment.
Yeah. Like,
no, I just said I'm not going to name.
You did
my
name
tiers.
it. You named, but that. Can I say something?
There were
that
four
was the
tiers.
tip of the iceberg.
Okay. Can we get to it? Can we listen, Brew? I love you. And
Great
Wilds.
segment, all sports, NBA Tiers.
Thank you.
It was
Kevin
Dusty's
Wilds.
fault.
Wilds is
I'm
always
putting it
trying to
on
drive
Dusty.
a wedge between Brew and
When
I.
all
I don't
else
wanna
fails,
That was not me.
Put it on Dusty.
But I will tell you, Brew, this is how it's bottom of the tiers.
I'd like to see you do the button.
Capture the flag with 2 G's, meaning, of course, Cooper
Oh,
flag.
that's a good idea.
These teams are already tanking. Whether they mean to or not, they are already tanking. They're already watching Duke highlights, preparing for next year's NBA draft.
Some bad teams.
Jerry West warned you. Jerry West has some all-time great quotes. My favorite is, you know, your stats are on the internet, JJ. But he has other ones as well. And he told you where you don't want to be is in that middle, where are you going for it or are you not? And these 4 teams, I think the Jazz are maybe the one team that know we're not going for it and we're trying to bottom out. The Raptors just gave $400 million combined to Scotty Barnes and Isaiah Quickly. I don't get it. The Hawks, they trade all those picks for DeJounte, then get a couple back for him. The Bulls have been stuck in the middle forever. Are they trading Levine? I don't know. All right, next. Ready to take a leap? Question mark.
Yeah.
Şengün, Wemby, Paolo.
Let's go.
The question is, for any of these 3 teams to get up a level or 2, it is going to be because their young star, and I understand Şengün's not a number 1 pick like Paolo and Wemby, but Wilds was early on him and correct. He is a future star, and not superstar necessarily like Wemby and Paolo will be, but star. How much of a leap will he take in for the Rockets?
And
They have another guy in Jalen Green that could do it as well. League 2 deep. All right, if you have De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, and a good supporting cast, or if you have Bam and Jimmy, or if you have, and again, believe it or not, that is the Clippers logo. I know. I know. Can we just go back to the old one? I looked at it too. I was like, who is that? Then I remembered the Clipper ship. If you have Kawhi with regular season Harden, or if you have Durant and Booker, or if you have Donovan and Garland and Mobley, you should be a contender-ish. None of them are, because the league is simply too deep. Next tier, legends deserve better. Steph and LeBron, they deserve better. They deserve, if you're Steph, either a team that is truly willing to go all in the now, or at the very least, willing to keep Clay around. The reporting today was horrific, where it's like they wouldn't even give him a contract offer. Joe Lacob invited him to play golf and then wouldn't talk contract with him, and Clay's just out there golfing with him all sad. I didn't like that. And for the Lakers, go for it or don't.
Yeah.
Instead, what you have is still the 2 biggest stars in the league, still 2 of the 10 best players in the league, playing out the string of their careers. Another move to make, question mark. So for the Pelicans, Grizzlies, and Pacers, I like their core. I like what they're doing. Do they have another move? I think the Pelicans, are they going to move Brandon Ingram? The Grizzlies haven't gone, the time we thought they were going to go all in and trade a bunch of picks, Ja was out and then injured. And the Pacers still have their powder dry as well. I don't think, as presently constituted, any of them are good enough yet, but they have enough assets where maybe they could be. All right, now to the true contenders. Don't forget about us. We might have the 2 best players in the league, guys. The 2 best finals performances anybody has had in the last half decade are by these 2 guys. They are still unique unicorns. That's redundant, but you understand what I mean. Like, nobody else has a player like either one of those guys. And good, maybe not great, but good supporting cast. They've kind of been cast aside. Is this finally the year? The Sixers haven't won a title in more than 40 years. The Knicks haven't won a title in more than 50 years. The Timberwolves haven't won a title in infinite years. They've never done it, never even played for one. Do all 3 of them have the best chance they've had in 20 some odd years to do it this year? Maybe. Is this finally the year? Excellent season and excellent offseason. We know it's the #1 seed and made the finals. And then the offseason, the Thunder brew. They add Alex Caruso. They add Hartenstein to get some rebounding. The Mavs bring in Quentin Grimes and Klay Thompson and lose almost nothing as far as production goes. Excellent season, excellent offseason. And then at the top of the tiers, running it back.
Solid.
They're just bringing everyone back, and they won 80 games last year and faced little resistance. That, Chris Broussard, are the committee's NBA
Solid tiers, bro. No?
It was all right. You could have just went tier 10, tier 9.
Cleaner.
I am moving the Timberwolves up on the same level as OKC and Dallas.
Okay.
I think they definitely deserve to be up there. Look, I agree with you. Both of them had great off seasons. For Dallas, it wasn't just Klay either. You know, they added some other things that I think are going to make them better.
Najee Marshall, Quentin Grimes.
Yep. Yeah, Quentin, you really like. Grimes for his shooting.
Yep.
But OKC, I still feel like, I could be wrong, but I feel like they're a year away from really being able to win the West and maybe win the whole thing. They're still so young. They've won 1 playoff series together, so I just think they're a year away from getting it done. So I'm going to move Minnesota up to join them, not to replace one, because I think that experience last year in the playoffs is going to be great for the Timberwolves. I think they definitely, in their mind and emotionally, celebrated after they beat Denver.
Yep.
And then they weren't even ready for Dallas. And I think they won't do that again. I think Anthony Edwards will not be emotionally exhausted in a late, deep playoff run because now he knows what it's all about. And they just, look, I'm not going to make too much out of this, but Joe Ingles,
They
not
just
a bad,
signed him
yeah,
an
they
hour
just signed him.
ago.
Not a bad, he's a career 41% shooter
Yeah.
from 3. They lost Kyle Anderson. Look, I like Anderson's defense, and I think he gives them some toughness. But they're fine with him because he was a self-check. I mean, the dude just can't shoot. And so he's going to Golden State. He's kind of like a poor man's Draymond. So I like Minnesota, and I'm going to move quickly. The Sixers
You're doing
down. I'm switching Denver and the Sixers. That's all I'm saying.
Was this a bonus?
Just a bonus.
Yeah, that's a bonus.
bonus.
Switching. I couldn't sit there and let that stay. Denver below the Sixers?
Let Wilds go.
I will also do that. So I don't
You're
know where
moving them up higher.
I'm moving them up to the second line, but you had moved them up to the third. So I guess I'm moving them up 1 to the second line. So I know what you're saying. Like, this is why they're on second. I'm giving respect to the Celtics, but there was one team that the Celtics had a hard time handling, and it was the Denver Nuggets. They were 19-80 against the rest of the NBA, but the Nuggets were 2-0.
It's the
They're
record
right.
versus the Celtics.
Yes,
the
I'm
rest
sorry,
of
that's
the
what it
NBA was 19-80.
Yes, because Celtics
That's
did not
a weird
win the
way to put it.
championship with 19 wins.
That graphic's correct. It's phrased oddly, but go ahead.
I think he did.
Denver never lost to the Celtics,
Yeah.
and all the other teams did.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So you might say, like, wow, that's not fair. We saw Minnesota manhandle Denver, had big leads, either kept big leads or came back.
2 weeks.
And you know why that is? Jamal Murray was hurt. Usually Jamal Murray takes his regular season numbers and gets them better. This time, he was struggling on some bum knees and he was just a little bit hurt, throwing heat packs. We will see playoff Jamal Murray for Team Canada, who I'm here to announce before July 4th. I wouldn't dare do it on July 4th. I'm rooting for Team Canada a little bit too.
You picking Team Canada?
No, I'm picking
that's
USA.
what I want to hear.
I'm picking.
Are you picking?
You're
them over Team
even
USA?
a sports polygamist.
I'm not allowed to like Vince Carter.
Vince Carter
Carter's
played for Team
America.
USA.
He played for the Raptors.
His most famous play when he dunked
Was
over
in
Frederick
the
Weiss was
Olympics.
in the Olympics. For
Yeah,
Team
but in the
USA.
slam dunk contest, he was with the Raptors. And I know I like Kendrick Lamar. I also like Drake. Kill me.
Okay, all right.
I think you're picking Team Canada.
I'm not picking
Just
Team
go ahead and
Canada.
just listen.
I like Dylan Brooks, though. You know that. In any event, I got one more thing.
Oh, sorry.
I know you're thinking, oh, but what about these big leads and they kind of sleepwalk? They're like, we're the champs. We'll be fine. Well, what if you added Russell Westbrook, who just gives you a nice little bit of energy off the bench? He's only going to make about $4 million. Did he do great for the Clippers? No.
Did you see him in the playoffs?
That's not his role. Yeah, I saw him play great one game.
One game. And
That's
then
all
the
we
rest
need.
Of the game. Okay.
Here's what I saw. I saw Denver blow a 20-point lead because they can't get anything going.
Yeah.
Nobody can create their own shot besides the big two.
Okay. This is the post-free agency tiers.
Yeah.
Which means built into it is the fact that, first of all, Russell Westbrook, is he on the Nuggets yet?
No, he's on the Clippers, right?
Okay.
But
all
signing
right.
trade.
Okay. All right. So he's not on there yet.
No.
Meanwhile, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is gone.
That wasn't great.
It's not great. They are losing pieces. I will give some free advice to the Denver Nuggets. I think that during the season, you probably have to bite the bullet and trade Michael Porter Jr. for $10 to $12 million a year role players. I think they
Junior's
need
important for them. You see how many times he'll hit a big
max
three.
guy.
Yeah, I understand, but because of where they are contract-wise, and evidently the Cronkies don't have enough money to pay the tax. What
They got
are
a
we
lot of
doing?
money.
Yeah,
They got a lot of money,
got a lot
folks.
of money.
But regardless, I think splitting him up into 3 role players might, kind of offset the loss of KCP, Bruce Brown from a year ago, Uncle Jeff Green.
They
Brown
better
might
be
come
good.
back.
They better
Let's call
be good
Bruce
role
Brown.
players. Oh,
Josh, let's put a call into Bruce Brown during the
On
commercial.
the Nuggets' behalf?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Who's representing? Is he an Excel guy?
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.